What's going on, everybody? I'm Coach Linden, one of the coaches at Getting It Daily, and I'm sitting with client Thomas, talk about his journey a little bit, okay? So we were talking about keeping it very simple for this one because, again, we are only, I think you said 10 days. Is it marked 10 days?
I came in March 31st, and we started April 1st.
Heard. Okay, so that puts us right at a little outside of that. So, this is either the 10th day or the 10th day is tomorrow.
Right, because we don't include, because
the weekends are disincluded. Right, yes. Okay, so good. That's 2 weeks in. How do you feel?
Honestly, a lot has changed in that, 14 days.
Okay, can you do me a favor and tell people a little bit about your journey before coming here so they get an idea who you are as an individual and then some of the progress you've seen?
So, like most people, I spent a lot of my time sitting in a chair, office work. Spent, 15 years doing that, and that took a lot out of me physically. Found that a lot of times moving was extremely difficult, picking things up. And about a year ago, I started to try to make a change. I've been through 2 different trainers. Amazing individuals, but just couldn't target the issues I was having.
Right.
I just gotten done with some issues with my hand, so I was looking again for a new trainer. I stumbled upon Getting It Daily, gave you guys a call, we talked. I'd been looking for a coach that knew about backwards walking, the ATG program.
Right.
And we got to talking about that. You knew everything I was looking to do. I came in, we met up. And just even the first day we started doing the exact things I was looking to do, you called out some issues that I had speculated were an issue.
I was actually kind of curious about, I was wondering if you were going to mention because I know how I am when I purchase something and there's that's what I'm going to get moment. And I wondered if you had that moment picking me as your trainer.
Oh, absolutely. When I walked in and you saw how I was walking, you go, those shoes are wrong. And I had, in my head that was going on because, just for context, I walked literally
I was gonna
on my
say,
toes only.
We should have you stand like how you stood at the beginning at the end of the video.
Absolutely,
and then kind of show people because I'm impressed. Okay, you're knowledgeable, right? But then there's cases where you're like, I'm not sure. Right? Clients
Always.
where you're like, I'm not sure. And I said, I know we can help you, but how fast was my question. So we're on this wonderful 30-day journey, right? Where we're literally going to take, Dan, you're going to see me every weekday for 4 weeks, and we're in our second one now. And it's based on helping Tom move better because I think one of the biggest mistakes most people make is they work out a little bit, then they go home, and they either completely do the opposite of the workouts they were doing or they don't do anything at all.
Yep.
And I think that hurts people's progress tremendously. So, yes, I think people should know how far you came. And the shoe thing is normal for us because we are big on using your feet. We do functional training stuff. So
Absolutely.
I was glad. I was like, okay, cool. That made sense. Yeah, we got you in some new shoes. I want to say that day,
Yep.
And quite literally, this is how bad people are. How bad stuff is for people. I want to say the next day your heels were halfway down. It's just quite literally the shoe you had on wasn't, let's say, conducive for the foot. What tipped me off was you said wide toe box. And I was like, yeah, you need a bigger shoe. Immediately, that was my response on top of the shoe having an elevated heel, which is a running shoe. Again, for most people, you should not be wearing running shoes in your everyday stuff, especially if you're someone who struggles with knee issues and things of that nature. So I wanted to ask the next part, and then we'll close it because you basically answered my first 2 questions. The last one I want to ask is, okay, you've been on a journey for 10 days. You're seeing great benefit. You feel good. You're moving better. So if there's someone at home watching this interview and is like, I'm afraid to start, what would you say to them to encourage them to do it themselves?
The hardest part is getting in here
Yeah.
and convincing yourself to be vulnerable.
No.
It's gonna hurt. It's not gonna be a pleasant journey.
Yeah.
But you've adapted when things hurt. It's not just, I'm in here every day and, something hurts. You're like, we're just going to keep pushing it. There's a lot of consideration. There's a lot of, one day you focus on one thing, okay, let's see where that goes.
Right.
Next day we'll work on this, giving time for that thing to kind of recover. But you still push a little bit with that thing.
Yes.
Oh, your feet are going to hurt if that's a sore spot. But what you're going to find is in a week, the things that were hurting are no longer hurting.
Right.
I think the biggest thing for me was, I had that impingement in my ankle, 4 or 5 days. Yeah, things hurt, but that impingement was gone. I was starting to be able to, use my foot more.
Yeah, I want to say one of the things we always talk about with clients is the difference between sharp pain and like duller pain. I say a lot of people who are experiencing dull pain are just not used to soreness or exertion, things of that nature. I'm not saying that both of those can't have be signs of something wrong. I'm saying that most people are using both as a sign of something wrong before anything is actually wrong. So we tried to focused on, I remember the first couple of days you were like, my ankles, man. I'm like, give it some time, keep using it. Like your body's been carrying you this whole time. Don't think that this adjustment is going to break it, right? It was that type of conversation. And again, the thing I've admired about watching your journey is watching you. I'm like, man, I wonder if he wants to phone it in today, right? Because it's hard. It's not, like you said, there's a challenge to showing up for yourself every day. So I'm actually very glad that you did that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the one thing. I said, I had 2 other trainers, and in 14 days, I feel like I have done more day over day than I did ever with either. And whether that's skill set or call it what you will, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, fair.
But what I found is the harder it's been, the more I felt I need to push through it, because it got harder day by day, which means it got easier for the things that were hard the day before. And like you said, the hardest part is going to be, can you dedicate yourself to it?
That's fair.
As long as you can dedicate yourself to it, there's a lot of great people here that'll push you through, that'll encourage you. I mean, that's been the greatest thing, is seeing, older people here that encourage me. Like, I'm like, they can do it. I certainly will be able to do it.
I like to think a good fitness community has ages and ranges for sure. We are seeing more people take care of themselves later in life. So absolutely. Let's do the standing test. All right. We're going to show you. Oh, he hopped up faster than I did. We're going to show you. Let's show them the difference. All right. I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to remove the chairs because we're going to have you show them what you were talking about. All right. So let's say standing right about here, facing this way.
Yeah,
so show them how far you were.
I was probably, my heel, I was probably like this. So I remember walking the first days. I can't even stand, actually.
You were like that when I saw you.
Yeah, it was probably like this, definitely, over, a little hunched over.
Right.
Now, not perfect, but I can stand a little bit wide, more proud.
Yeah. Can you just share with everybody how long it had been since you've had your heels down in this position?
Probably like 3 months, and that's about, actually maybe even a little bit longer than that.
Yeah, fair. So the shoes were making it worse. You had the range, and then all of a sudden, that's how important footwear is.
Yeah.
People. Okay? Man, look, hey, appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Man.
Yeah, of course. All right. We'll check you next time.